Welcome to the Activated Story Theater's 155th podcast.
This episode we bring you The Troll and the Shoes, a story from Scandinavia.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And together we are the Activated Actors! We are coming to you from Bowie, Maryland.
We are performing in Maryland right now after finishing up our New England tour. We're heading south.
It's that time of year.
Yes.
Fly south for the winter.
So we are doing Maryland right now, and next up is North Carolina, and then we'll be in South Carolina for a while. And then, who knows?
While we were in New England, we attended the New England Library Association's conference.
We did. We performed for some librarians, and we met lots of librarians from all over Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut. And so hopefully we'll be bringing some shows to you up there next summer.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. We had 2 days to have a little exhibit at a booth and then do a performance.
It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of neat people up there.
Then we went down south. We premiered a new story that we have never done before.
We did. In Connecticut, we performed our Medusa story.
Perseus and Medusa from Greek mythology.
And honestly, we wrote this story and directed it and staged it thinking that it would be really, really good for junior high, which I still believe it will be. However, for that performance, we had a lot of kindergartners show up. And I was very nervous about doing the show for kindergartners, but very, very surprised that they really enjoyed it.
They did. They were very attentive.
And like the kindergartners, first graders, they knew the story. They could tell ahead of time what was coming up, and they told us, like, go look for the shield, go do this. They were giving us directions because they knew the story. So I was very impressed that kindergartners know Medusa. I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay, now we went to New York City.
Start spreading the news.
We did something we've never done before. We saw 2 Broadway shows in one day.
In one day. We've seen Broadway shows before, but 2 in one day, that's a record for us. We got to see 2 really, really good shows.
We saw Allegiance and then Matilda. And Matilda I liked.
Matilda had a lot of talent in it. The kids were great. But we loved Allegiance.
Allegiance was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
And if you haven't heard about Allegiance, it's a musical, and it is about the relocation of Japanese Americans during World War II. And it stars George Takei, who you may recall was one of the cast members of the original Star Trek series.
And if you don't know him from that, you probably know him from Facebook.
He does a lot of Facebook posts.
He gets reposted
very interesting
a lot.
Facebook posts.
Yes.
I watched him when I was a kid. I watched the Star Trek series. He played Sulu, of course, on Star Trek. He's now about 80, I think.
Oh, he's up there. He's playing the grandpa on the show, and
he actually plays 2 roles.
Yeah, he does.
It begins in the present day, and then it goes back to
right
to that.
Yeah.
But a really moving. It was funny. It was sad. Very good songs and dances, well staged,
and a very important story that needs to be told. So very happy to see that it has made it to the stage and is raising awareness.
I cannot recommend it too highly. Allegiance. See it if you have a chance.
The story, like we said, is the Japanese who were relocated to internment camps, some of which we have visited in our travels.
We actually, not too long ago, we visited not the actual camp because it's gone, but the site where the camp was in Arkansas, where George Takei and his family were sent.
Yes.
He was 5 years old at the time.
Yes.
And we also, three times we have visited Manzanar in California.
Mm-hmm.
We went there the first time when there was nothing left except a few foundations and so on, and now they've rebuilt some of the buildings to give you an idea of what the experience was like for these people.
And I also recognize some of the Oban festival dancing that was worked into the choreography. So if you've done any of our courses we teach dance when we come to some of the schools and we do residency programs. If you've had a chance to work with us in our Japanese section of that, you'd recognize some of those dance moves too.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to be able to pick up some of that dancing in Japan at an actual Oban festival. Oban is a celebration of the dead, sort of. It's somewhat similar to Halloween,
but they do it really differently over in Japan.
Yes, we have friends in Japan, so we went over for a couple of weeks a few years ago. Had a great time, and we were able to actually do some dancing.
So lots of fun in New York City and lots of fun up north. And now we're looking forward to heading south as the winter comes in.
Yes, one more thing we should mention that
What?
we just did recently. The Kalmar Nickel.
We did in Wilmington, Delaware. We stopped and visited a ship. It's a replica of a colonial ship that came from Scandinavia. And they brought people over to Delaware.
To Delaware and New Jersey.
It's a merchant ship.
Area they called New Sweden, because there were a lot of Swedish settlers, obviously. The original ship was built in 1625, so it's a very old ship, and this is a very faithful reproduction.
Yes.
Except that it has some modern navigational
like
equipment.
GPS.
Yes.
But other than that...
And we have a friend who is currently crewing the ship. She's one of the crew members.
And so she's getting to live aboard, and she gave us the inside tour. We got to hang out with some of the crew, and they sang sea shanties for us.
And this ship, during the summer, it cruises along the East Coast from, I believe it's Cape Charles, Virginia, all the way up to Provincetown, Massachusetts. And there are several stops along the way where you can go aboard, you can take a cruise. They also have a pirate cruise where the crew dresses up like pirates. And right now, at this time of year, it's docked in Wilmington.
And they are all working to bring the sails down, clean it up. They've got annual cleaning going on right now. This is what happens in the wintertime. And boy, is that an operation. It takes a lot of people.
Yes.
And a lot of very dedicated workers. And they're all volunteers, too. A lot of people are volunteering to do this. So nice.
If you ever have a chance, I suggest you go to the Kalmar Nickel Foundation website and see some of the cities where you can go aboard. And
if you're
visit it.
on the West Coast, there is another ship out there, too, you might be interested in, and that's the Lady Washington.
Yes.
So you can also visit her and see what it's like to be on a ship from way back.
All right, shall we get into our story?
I think we should get into our story. Our story is The Troll and the Shoes from Scandinavia.
Long, long ago, in Scandinavia, there lived two identical twin girls named Greta and Rita. This is a story about Greta, although Rita plays an important part in it too. Greta was a dancer, or at least she loved to dance. And she dreamed of becoming a dancer one day. There was just one thing that she really needed. Actually, two things.
Oh, it would be nice if I had some shoes that were suitable for dancing. I mean, dancing barefoot is okay, but, to make serious moves, I really need some serious footwear.
But alas, she was very poor, and the only shoes she owned were awkward and old and ratty and patched together with gum.
Yuck.
That's gum from a tree, not someone's mouth.
Oh, that's better, I think.
One day, she was standing on a bridge, staring into the water, and she decided to make a formal wish.
I wish I had a pair of new shoes, especially to dance in. I'd give anything for them. Ah, well, I'll probably never get them on my budget.
But as she was just about to head back home, a troll climbed up onto the bridge from underneath. Wait, I got something for you.
Huh? Who are you?
I'm not a who, I'm a what. A troll. And please, no jokes about that being the ancient Yuletide carol.
What are you doing here?
I'm a troll. This is a bridge. Put it together.
You live under this bridge?
Actually, I live underground. This bridge just covers my front porch. I was sitting out by the river soaking up some pollution when I heard your wish. So here you are, special delivery.
Shoes? I don't understand.
Not terribly complicated. They go on your feet.
You mean they're mine?
I don't see anyone else here making a wish, do you?
No strings attached.
Only the shoestrings.
Why, they're beautiful. Oh, thank you ever so much.
No prob. Now, if you'll just sign this receipt so I can, prove that I gave them to you if anyone ever should ask.
Oh, certainly. There you are.
Terrific. Well, see you next year.
Next year?
That is, if you happen to pass by again when I'm out.
Oh, right. A real pleasure, I'm sure.
So she went back home and told her sister all about her incredible good fortune.
You took a pair of shoes from a troll?
Sure, why not? Well, I've heard that trolls can't be trusted. There's often a heavy price to pay for their so-called gifts. Oh, not in this case. I just signed a receipt. And receipt? What did it say? How should I know? I didn't read it. Oh, boy. I don't like the sound of this at all. Don't you know that you should always read something before you sign it? Especially if it comes from a supernatural being. You may have just made a very bad deal. How bad can it possibly be when I've got such cool shoes out of it? Oh, you worry too much. You need to take tango lessons.
So Greta enjoyed her new shoes. She danced in them every day, becoming a better and better dancer. She even won a blue ribbon at the county fair. The county had never had a fair before, but it started one just so they could give her a ribbon for dancing. Greta and Rita forgot all about the troll. Until a year later, when Greta happened to pass over the same bridge again. Ta-da! Welcome back.
You! What are you doing here?
This is still a bridge, and I'm still a troll. And you're still a clueless girl, but not as clueless as you will be tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Tomorrow, I will claim your soul.
Oh, the left one or the right one?
No, not the sole of your shoe. The soul of you.
Oh, is that legal?
It is now. You signed it over to me in that agreement.
What agreement?
The one you signed last year. The one you thought was a receipt.
You mean, you lied to me?
Ain't it the truth?
Wow. What's the world coming to? You can't even trust a mysterious troll who appears on a bridge and gives you a pair of shoes and then asks you to sign a paper you haven't read.
This time tomorrow, your soul will be part of my collection. I hope those shoes were worth it.
Not at all. Not even a whole wardrobe would have been worth that price. Oh, there must be some way I can get out of this agreement.
Afraid not. Not unless there's something wrong with the shoes. I mean, if the merchandise is defective, you're always entitled to a refund, even with trolls.
Oh, well, now that you mention it, they've been getting rather uncomfortable lately.
Impossible. They're the finest shoes available anywhere.
Even so, they're very uncomfortable. In fact, they absolutely hurt my feet.
Yeah, those shoes were made by elves.
Then elves can wear them. Or you can wear them yourself.
Fine. Tell you what I'll do. I'll try wearing them just to make sure you're not lying to me.
Well, that would help, I guess, but to really walk a mile in my shoes, you'd have to dance in them.
Dance? Don't be absurd. Trolls don't dance. We have 2 left feet.
Oh, I thought there was something strange about them.
But we can walk, and we can run. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, I'll put on your shoes and race you to the bridge in the next county. If you win, the deal is off, and you get to keep your precious soul. I'd even throw in mine as well, but I don't really think you want a troll soul. If I win, we proceed as agreed. Agreed?
Well, I don't know.
It's the best offer you're gonna get. This is not a game show.
Well, okay, I guess.
Good. See you here at noon tomorrow. Don't be late. So Greta was safe for at least one more day. But that didn't make her feel any more at ease as she went home and told her sister what had happened.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? There's no way I can outrun a troll, with or without the shoes. With 2 left feet, he never has to wait for the right one to catch up. Now, don't fret. I'm sure we can think of something. 2 heads are better than 1. Only if you're applying for a job with the circus. He tricked you into this. Maybe there's a way you can trick him out of it. I can't believe I let him trick me like that. If I had been you never would have signed that paper without reading it. That's right. Let's face it, we're very different. Even though we're so much alike that people often get us confused. Hey, wait a minute. I'm getting a great idea about how we can get out of this. What do you mean, we? Listen.
So Greta whispered her plan. Not because there was anyone around who might overhear, but just so Rita would pay close attention. It had nothing to do with building drama and suspense. Honestly. And the next day, Greta went back to the bridge, where she met the troll and handed him the shoes.
There you are, sir, or, whatever I should call you.
Ouch! These hurt.
Ah, you admit they're uncomfortable.
Well, they weren't made for my feet. They were made for feet with 10 toes that all point in the same direction. On my feet, sure they hurt.
Feminine fashion is not for wimps.
The thing is, I can still run in them. So you should be able to dance in them. Are you ready to race?
Ready.
All right then. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So they were off. The troll raced far ahead right away and completely lost sight of Greta. And in a matter of minutes, he came into sight of the other bridge. But as he approached it, he saw... You! How'd you get here so fast?
Oh, I guess I must run faster than you. So I guess our little agreement's off, huh?
Not so fast. You're not so fast. You can't be. We'll race back to the other bridge to see who's really the winner.
Well, okay, why not?
Good. 1, 2, 3, go. So the troll took off again and ran even faster. In fact, he broke all speed records. But when he got back to the first bridge, he discovered that someone else had broken his broken record.
What took you so long? I was about to plant a garden.
I don't believe it. How could you have won again? It's impossible.
It's all on the wrist.
All right. I don't know how you did it once, much less twice. But it doesn't really count unless you win 2 out of 3. Everybody knows that.
But I did win 2 out of 3.
Nonsense. We haven't even run 3 times yet.
Trolls are not really good mathematicians, are they?
Maybe not, but we make good lawyers. If you want to be released from our agreement, you'll have to race me 1 more time. Triple or nothing.
And if I do win this time, you promise the deal is off.
Yeah, whatever.
Very well, then. 1, 2, 3, go.
So, even though he was exhausted, he was off again, faster than ever. He ran faster than a rabbit. On a jet ski. In a hurricane. On a video played on fast forward. But even so, when he got to the other bridge...
Yoo-hoo!
No, it can't be. You're not even sweating.
Of course not. I got finished so soon I stopped and painted a picture. Oh, the oils are almost dry now.
All right. I know when I've met my match.
You weren't much of a match as far as I'm concerned.
Don't rub it in. Just take these blasted shoes and get out of my sight. I never want to smell them again.
Thank you. I'll tie a rope around them and drag them along behind me. Oh, man, that stinks.
Now, as you've probably guessed, it was actually the twin sisters who were the same girl. That is, only one of them was in both places at once. Which is to say, well, you get the idea. Anyway, the troll kept his word, as trolls usually do. And Greta kept her soul, as dancers usually do. She also kept those wonderful dancing shoes.
After thoroughly disinfecting them, of course.
And that's the story of The Troll and the Shoes.
From Scandinavia. Ooh, and you know what? We are going to be staging that one for next year.
Yes.
For the summer reading program. We'll kick it off for the summer reading programs, and then we will be bringing it to schools and libraries all over the country in 2016.
Yes, it'll be a slightly different version because we haven't figured out a way to clone Kimberly yet.
Yeah, I can't be a twin of myself.
But we will be doing that.
Right, but the story will be the same. The summer reading theme coming up is Ready, Set, Read, if you want to know what your summer reading theme is for next summer. So we are doing stories that are all about racing for next year. So this will be one of them. We're also going to be offering The Gingerbread Man and The Tortoise and the Hare and Storm Along, which if you're a longtime podcast listener, an activated story theater follower, you are familiar with Storm Along. If you aren't, just know that it is basically the Paul Bunyan version with sailors. It happens on the sea.
It's like Paul Bunyan at sea.
If Bunyan or John Henry.
Yes. In American folklore, there are folk heroes representing many different occupations. Like the lumberjacks have Paul Bunyan, the sailors have Old Storm Along, the cowboys have Pecos Bill.
And the railroad has John Henry. So it's like that, but it takes place at sea. And there's a race with Old Stormalong and the steamship. So those are some of the stories we'll be offering for next season. We're already thinking about next season, and that's like 6-7 months away.
Yes, we're still getting over last season.
You got to think ahead.
Yes.
So,
by the way, our apologies for not giving you a podcast last month.
We were a little busy.
We were really tied up with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, no more excuses. But
we're thankful that you are there, and we appreciate you all listening. We really, really do, and especially love it when you guys come to our shows. Yes. So if you want to know where some shows are coming up for public shows, let's see, what do we have coming up for public? In South Carolina, we have a show in Charleston in January. It will be at the Charleston Museum, and that will be on January 9th. I believe that's our next public show. Everything else is at school, yes. So can't really invite you to those. But you can always bring us to your school. Again, our website is activatedstorytheater.com.
And I guess that just about wraps it up for this time.
And if you have any story requests, let us know. Just give us a call, 800-429-6576, or send us an email, and we will try to do some story requests. We do only specialize in folk tales, though, so don't request a story that somebody has a copyright on or is not part of folk tales.
And remember, don't challenge a troll to a race unless you have an identical twin.
More importantly, don't sign something you haven't read.
Yes, that too.
All right. We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Activated Story Theater is committed to bringing fun, educational shows to schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use physical comedy, American Sign Language, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring multicultural folktales to life. For booking information, check out our website, activatedstorytheater.com, where you can also find out when the activated actors will be performing near you, read a story, or order one of our audio CDs. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or listen on Stitcher. We look forward to your comments and folktale suggestions. Stay activated. Until next time.